Go shopping. Swag different. And niggas. Two-tone. What did you want? I don't play about it. Yeah. Push. Push the rate off. Push. Everybody doing donuts. To get to the goal, down my lows. Why can't you when you shit in the sofa? Cheers, you riding. Like getting dotted. All night. Hell, I'm on fire. From the OGs, I love my big homies. Means we run down the police. Case what the cases on gangster. And I'm a gangster. I'm from gangsters. Send them 2 million, yeah, 2 biggies up, 2 biggies. Push the rate on. There's no weight on. Push the weight on. I don't play about it. Push that weight on. Push that weight on. Shout out to my nigga G, man. That's a slapper right there, bro. Shout out to the family. Hold on. One more time, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Just in case they don't understand. Shout out to G Perico. Shout out to Deuce Mac. Shout out to Rock. Shout out to the Waves. Y'all know what time it is. Shout out to the Enterprise Clique. Yay! All right. What's good, everybody? This your boy John. Had some conversations, NFL Weekly Recap, Week 17. It's your boy John. Everybody else should be logging in soon. If not, it is what it is, but we're going to go ahead and get this show moving. That's what we're about to do. Shout out to G Perico. Shout out to the Broadway Gangsters. All right. Week 17, we're going to start this off with Thursday Night Football, Cowboys and the Titans. Let's see what's going on here. Cowboys in the playoff. Dak Prescott in the playoffs once again. Will the Dallas Cowboys figure this out? Right? That's the question. Will Dak Prescott make this work in the playoffs? Will they get past the first round? I'm sure all the Cowboy fans saying it's their year. But what history has shown us is that the Cowboys are the Cowboys. They get one game, and then it's a wrap. But shout out to the black quarterbacks because we definitely want them to do well. And me being a New York Giants fan, I've always despised the Cowboys and Cowboy fans, right? But them having a black quarterback and me knowing and understanding the slack, the negative connotation of black quarterbacks not being smart enough, not being great leaders and being able to lead a team, right? Well, you have an African American who is Dak Prescott, who's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, right? He's black and white, so I'm gonna give him that. So I definitely found myself this year kind of loosening up on that hate that I have for the Cowboys, and I definitely want to see them be successful. But Cowboys beat the Tennessee Titans 27-13. Dak Prescott went 29 for 41. 29 for 41. Sheesh. 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not a bad game from Dak. Um, I would have liked to have seen them blow out the Tennessee Titans, who are 7-9. Dallas Cowboys are 12-4 right now. Would have liked this to be a blowout, and it wasn't. But a decent game. Dak threw 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I know one of those interceptions wasn't his fault, but 2 interceptions. Malik Davis had 10 carries for 39 yards. Ezekiel Elliott had 19 carries for 37 yards and a TD. CD Lamb had 11 receptions for 100 yards. T.Y. Hilton had 4 receptions for 50 yards. 4 receptions for 50 yards doesn't sound like a lot, but he definitely had some important catches during that game. Dak Prescott also had a fumble. Defense had 2 sacks and an interception. And let's see what Tennessee Titans did. Joshua Dobbs, again, another black quarterback. Shout out to the black QBs. He went 20 for 39, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Haskins had 12 carries for 40 yards. Treylon Burks had 4 receptions for 66 yards. Robert Woods, shout out to Robert Woods, USC in the building. Haven't heard from Robert Woods in a minute. He had 5 receptions for 39 yards and a touchdown. I want to look at the standings real quick, see where the Cowboys is at in the standings. Cowboys in the playoffs. It is what it is. Good for them. Good for Dak Prescott. I will say, while I look up these NFL standings, I will say, man, I can't front, man. Dak Prescott is, I would say, I won't say he's an elite quarterback in the NFL, but I will say Dak Prescott is a top quarterback in the NFL, right? When we're looking at quarterbacks in the NFL, we're looking at guys who can sit in the pocket and read past their first option, right? Usually when a play is drawn up, a coach will have the play drawn up for a specific defense, right? It's a certain look that they're looking for. And within that look, you have a receiver. That's your first option. Then you have your second option, your third option, right? If there's 4 receivers, you might have a 4th option. You might have a 5th option, right, with the tailback in there. A lot of QBs can't see past their first option, right? So if the first option isn't there, the play blows up, the play's no good. Dak Prescott is one of those quarterbacks that could sit in the pocket. He can look at his first option, his second option, his third option, and his 4th option, right, and extend the play. Right, a lot of quarterbacks can't do that, right? You see a lot of these quarterbacks running RPOs. A lot of these offensive coordinators put in their quarterbacks in RPO, which is a run pass option offense, right? Because it's simple, right? You have one read, you look at that read, and based off of that one read, you make a decision. So they're trying to dumb it down and make it easy for these quarterbacks. But Dak Prescott is one of those quarterbacks where he can go through your first option through your 4th option. And that's something that you got to respect, because it's something that a lot of quarterbacks can't do, right? If you take Huntley, who's the backup quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, right? He's a quarterback where if his first option isn't there, he's probably going to take off and run the ball, right? He's not really going to extend plays, right? So he might be in trouble. He could take off with his legs because he's fast enough. He might get you the first down, right? But he may not extend the play. And so Dak Prescott could do that. So I got to give him his credit there, man, because that's a talent that not a lot of quarterbacks have. So I'm going to get that to him. Cowboys are, right, 12-4, so second in the NFC. But they are behind the Eagles. But they got that 5th spot locked up in the playoffs, right? So No, they got the 4th spot locked up in the playoffs. So again, it is what it is. She said Pat can too. What it do, cuzzo? I think my cousin, she said Pat can too. I think she talking about Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he can. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. So it ain't too many quarterbacks out there that can do what Patrick Mahomes can do. He different. He built different, and that's the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs are in the playoffs damn near every year since he been in the league. My cousin said he is that guy. Yes, he is. He is that guy. And if you in the NFC and you want to get to the Super Bowl, you have to go through Patrick Mahomes. Ain't no question about it. We give Patrick Mahomes his credit. I know a lot of my dogs say he's athletic. I don't think he's that athletic, but he's athletic enough. But arm talent, man, he is that guy. Cuz you're absolutely right about that. He's a bad man. So shout out to Patrick Mahomes. He's setting the bar right now for NFL quarterbacks. I think he's probably the number 1 NFL quarterback in this league, and I don't think too many people are going to disagree with that. As a rookie, cousin, absolutely. As a rookie, everybody not doing that as a rookie. Outside of Joe Burrow, between Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, ain't no telling what you could get. And you could get a Super Bowl. And Pat Burrow is doing it. Joe Burrow is doing that without an offensive line. She said, and the way he reads the field. Yes, again. So we talk about 9 times out of 10, when a coach draws up a play, he has this first option. He drew up a play specifically for that defense, and he wants you to hit this receiver because this receiver is going to be open, right? But 9 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, 6 times out of 10, that receiver may not be open. And what happens when that receiver is not open, right? What you normally see is most quarterbacks fail. You see them, they get sacked, right? They got to throw the ball out of bounds, or they got to take off running. And if you're not a mobile quarterback, it's going to be bad. But with Patrick Mahomes, if you don't give him his first option, that's fine. 9 times out of 10, you want to give him his first option because that's the best option for the defense. If you have him extend that play, he really gonna get you, and he gonna gas you for extra yards because he's gonna extend that play, whether it be with his arm or his legs. So shout out to Patrick Mahomes. Cardinals Falcons 2019. Falcons beat the Cardinals. They had 20. Cardinals had 19. Both of those teams out the playoffs. Not worried about them. The Detroit Lions beat the Chicago Bears 41-10. I'm going to check out this box score real quick. Justin Fields for the Chicago Bears, who just came back from injury, went 7 for 21. 75 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also had 10 carries for 132 yards. Nice. Cole Kmet, 2 receptions for 27 yards and a touchdown. If you don't know what Kmet is, Kmet, that's spelled K-M-E-T. Cole Kmet. I want you to go home and Google Kmet, K-M-E-T. I've been noticing there's a lot of these receivers out here with these African last names or these last names that carry a lot of weight. Kmet being one of them. So like I said, go ahead and Google Kmet, K-M-E-T. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown is another person that I want you to Google that name, Amon-Ra. Google that. The Chicago Bears had another receiver go 2 for 20. That's St. Brown. McNeil Harry had 1 reception for 16. Justin Fields also had a fumble, and their defense had 2 sacks. Detroit Lions, again, this team plays hard for their coach. They ain't no joke. Right, it's not a great football club, right? It's the coach's first year. Jared Goff is the quarterback who came from the Los Angeles Rams, right? Who's still a decent quarterback, has a great arm, and I think he's pretty good. He took the Rams to the playoffs. He took them to the Super Bowl, right? So he's a Super Bowl quarterback. So they got a good quarterback. They have a great coach, and they got a tough team. Jared Goff went 21 for 29, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, right? Jamal Williams, 22 carries for 144 yards and 1 touchdown. Andre Swift had 11 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. Jared Goff threw the ball 29 times and had 3 touchdowns. Jamal Williams ran the ball 22 times, right? That's a balanced offense right there. Not only did he run the ball 22 times, but he had a whole bunch of yards to back it up. That's what you want to see. And again, I was talking about that these NFL players with these African last names that I want y'all to Google so y'all can see what's really going on out here and what their parents is really putting on for these people, for y'all. Amon Ra St. Brown had 4 receptions for 62 yards. Like I said, go ahead and Google Amon Ra. That's AMON-RA. Google that. Do yourself a favor, especially if you're black. Defense has 7 sacks, right? So they sacked Justin Fields 7 times. It's gonna be a hard night. That's gonna be a tough game to win. So Detroit took that one, 41-10. Let's see where Detroit is in the standings real quick. Shout out to Detroit, man, because I don't think a lot of people expected them to be here this year, but they're here, man, and they holding it down. Let's go to this conference. Yeah, man. They in that playoff hunt, right? So they tied with the Seattle Seahawks and Tampa Bay for that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for that last playoff spot. Well, right now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have that last playoff spot. So Tom Brady is in the playoffs as of right now, and they got a 3-way tie, a 4-way tie between Tampa Bay, the Seahawks, Detroit, and Green Bay. Any of those teams get into the playoffs, they're going to be a challenge for anyone stepping on the field. Again, Detroit Lions play hard for their coach. Green Bay Packers got Aaron Rodgers. Can't count Aaron Rodgers out. And shout out to Tom Brady. Tom Brady got that last playoff spot. We had a lot of talk about him going through the divorce, right, with Giselle. Shout out to all the ladies out there with a bag that they don't need a nigga, but they want a nigga, and they just want that nigga to act right. So shout out to Giselle. She bought the crib in the same community, right? That's the Victoria's Secret supermodel out there holding it down, you know. And shout out to Tom Brady, man, because, chase your vision, bro. Chase your vision. If you want to be the GOAT, if you set out to be the number 1 quarterback and win X amount of Super Bowls, go handle your business. Handle your business, bro. She ain't going nowhere. Get her back if you really want her. She's just making a statement, and so are you. She ain't Bill Belichick. That's wifey. So make that work, Tom. Your ass was doing it anyway, nigga. See, I'm gonna say this about Tom Brady before we check into this Buccaneers game. See, what the struggle is as a man, right? Man's supposed to go out there and provide. Supposed to go out there and get that bacon and put that bread on the table, right? And that's cool. So what I want to say is, it's hard when you got to go out there and put that bread on the table, right? And now wifey ain't asking you to put bread on the table because you ain't got to, because she chose you just like you chose her. Both of you, she probably got a bag before you got a bag, honestly. She had a big bag before you got a bag, so she ain't asking for you to do much. But if Tom was just a regular average Joe, right, you going to work, working 40, 50 hours a week, Baby wants you to come home and be a father. Cause again, you ain't gotta work. If you fucking with Giselle, you can stay home. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Cause if she choose you, she choose you for you. You can stay home. But she asking you to go out there to be a father and a husband on top of being one of the best players in the NFL, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, which is a tall task. These guys is going into work 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and they ain't leaving work till late, right? Then you got to get home and you got to be a husband, right? You got to make sure wifey good. How was your day? What's going on with the family? Who tripping? Whoopty woo woo woo. Right, and then you got to play with the kids. That's a tall task and a tall order to ask of a man. But that's what she demanding. So regardless, I want to say shout out to Tom Brady because there's a lot of niggas out here going to work every day, go home and do nothing. They shitty dads and they shitty fathers, right? Tom Brady was out there doing the most. So I hope all this work out for him. Hope he get another Super Bowl at one point. But anyways, I'm just gonna say that. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Carolina Panthers 30-24. Tom Brady went 34 for 45, 432 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, looking like the Tom Brady that we know he is. Leonard Fournette had 10 carries for 28 yards. Mike Evans had 10 receptions for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mike Evans go off like that, Buccaneers going to be a problem. I say that. Chris Godwin, 9 receptions for 120 yards. Right? It's major. Defense had 2 sacks and an interception. They're going to be hard to beat. That's a team that don't nobody really want to see in the playoffs. We're going to move along to this Giants and Colts game. Shout out to the New York Giants, my team. All right. Been a New York Giants fan since middle school. I don't want to age myself, but that was early 2000s, right? And then when I got to the high school, we won 2 Super Bowls, and I ain't looked back since. So shout out to the New York Giants. Shout out to Daniel Jones. Shout out to Saquon Barkley. Shout out to the head coach, Brian Daboll. I see what y'all doing. We're going to keep building. Daniel Jones went 19 for 24, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He also had 11 carries for 91 yards and 2 TDs. Yes, sir. Saquon Barkley had 12 carries for 58 yards. Richie James had 7 receptions for 76 yards and a TD. Isaiah Hodgins had 4 receptions for 42 yards and a TD as well. Defense had 2 sacks. Shout out to my dog, Kayvon Thibodeau for 1 sack. And Dexter Lawrence, who is our Pro Bowler, also had a sack. So shout out to Dexter Lawrence, man. Landon Collins, a former Giant who they brought back, also had an interception. He'd been on the practice team, came back, had an interception. So happy to see him back. A guy that I think that they should have been had on the field, right? Because his defense definitely needs him. So I'm glad they brought him back. And it's looking like now that the New York Giants are in the playoffs that we might get Odell Beckham Jr. So don't forget about Odell Beckham Jr. He's still out there, right? 9 times out of 10, we thought he was going to go to the Dallas Cowboys. But he said he wasn't going to be ready till about 3 weeks from now, right? But I think if a team gets in the playoffs and they're willing to bring him on, I definitely could see him coming on during the playoffs. So if the New York Giants get Odell Beckham Jr. during the playoffs, I would love to see that. I definitely encourage that. I think that's our missing piece. That's what Daniel Jones needs right now. Daniel Jones can get it done. Saquon Barkley can get it done. Let's get a dependable receiver out there that's gonna get it done. Defense is looking better with Landon Collins. So I'm excited, man. I ain't even gonna front. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we bring on Odell during the playoff run. So be on the lookout for that. Nick Foles for the Colts went 8 for 13, 81 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Ellinger went 9 for 14, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Zach Moss had 15 carries for 74 yards. Paris Campbell had 3 receptions for 52 yards. That's that. Saints versus the Eagles. Right, we know Gardner Minshew has been starting for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is out right now. Saints 20, Eagles 10. Gardner Minshew went 18 for 32, 274 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Miles Sanders had 12 carries for 61 yards. Devontae Smith had 9 receptions for 115 yards. A.J. Brown had 4 receptions for 97 in the TD. Goddard had 3 receptions for 45. Defense has 7 sacks, right? And Josiah Scott had an interception. Let's see what the Saints did. Andy Dalton went 18 for 22, 204 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Alvin Kamara had 16 carries for 74 yards. Taysom Hill had 14 carries for 46 yards on the TD. Rashid Shaheed has 6 receptions for 79 yards. Jawan Johnson had 5 receptions for 62. Defense has 6 sacks and an interception. Marshawn Lattimore had an interception. So, again, Eagles number 1 in the NFC right now, so they're going to get that bye. Shout out to the NFC East. 9 times out of 10, it's looking like the whole division might be in the playoffs. If we might have the whole division minus the Washington Commanders in the playoffs. So be on the lookout for that, man. Shout out to the NFC East, man. Let me get him a round of applause real quick. I don't know why I can't hear shit in my headphones. But yeah, that's that. Let me see. Hold on. Push it. Yeah, round of applause. All right. What else we got? Broncos and the Chiefs, 27-24. We already know what that's about. Chiefs barely won that one. Let's see what Patrick Mahomes did. Patrick Mahomes went 29 for 42, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Isaiah Pacheco had 9 carries for 31 yards and a TD. Kadarius Toney, the former Giant, 4 receptions, 71 yards. McKinnon, 5 receptions for 52 yards. Defense have 4 sacks and an interception. Again, when you go to that Super Bowl run, man, you're going to have to get through in the AFC. You're going to have to get through the Kansas City Chiefs. So we know they at the top of the division with Patrick Mahomes, man. It's going to be tough. Russell Wilson went 26 for 38, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Murray had 12 carries for 56 yards. Sutton had 4 receptions for 44 yards. Russell Wilson had a lost fumble. Defense had no sacks, and Justin Simmons had an interception. Shout out to the Denver Broncos, man. They finally got rid of their head coach, so we're going to see what they do next year. Shout out to my dog, City, Denver Broncos fan, man. You've been saying fire Hackett all year. So they finally fired Hackett. So we're going to see what they do next year. We'll see what they do next year. We'll go back to the standings real quick. Man, shout out to the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, right? Right now, they sitting at 8-8, and they in the playoffs, right? They got that last spot in the playoffs. Got a 3-way tie going on with, or 2-way tie. No, yeah, 3-way tie going on with Pittsburgh and Miami, right? So we'll see how next week shapes up and see who gets that last spot in the playoffs, man. But if Tua doesn't make the playoffs, that's going to be a bad look. I know he's been dealing with concussions this year, but a lot of people had him in that MVP race, and they might not make the playoffs. So if they do make the playoffs, man, we got to give Bill Belichick his credit as one of the greatest coaches of all time, man, because he's making it work with this team. Like I said, it got them sitting at 8-8, and they can make a playoff push. So let me see. We're going to see what that game was like. New England 23, Miami Dolphins 21. Mac Jones went 20 for 33, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Stevenson had 8 carries for 42 yards. Harris had 9 carries for 32. Thornton had 3 receptions for 60 yards and a TD. Henry had 5 receptions for 52 yards. Myers had 6 receptions for 48 and a TD. Defense had 2 sacks and 2 interceptions. Shout out to them. And then we know right now, Tua Tagovailoa is out on concussion protocol. So Teddy Bridgewater been starting for him, man. Teddy Bridgewater went 12 for 19, 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Skylar Thompson went 12 for 21, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Wilson Jr. had 15 carries for 45 yards. Mostert had 9 carries for 29. Also had 8 receptions for 62 yards and a TD. Tyreek Hill had 4 receptions for 55 yards. That'll do it. If you limit Tyreek Hill to 55 yards and 4 receptions, that's a pretty good sign for the defense. Waddle had 3 receptions for 52. Defense had 3 sacks and no interceptions. Right. Browns and Commanders. Let's see what's going on here. Cleveland Browns. They beat the Washington Commanders 24-10. See what Deshaun Watson did. Deshaun Watson went 19 for 18, 9 of 18, 169 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Nick Chubb, 14 carries for 104 yards. Deshaun Watson had 8 carries for 31. Amari Cooper had 3 receptions for 105 yards and 2 TDs. Joku had 1 reception for 21 yards. Bryant had 2 receptions for 19. Defense had 3 sacks, and they also had 3 interceptions. So shout out to the Cleveland Browns. Definitely want to see what Deshaun Watson does next year with a full season for the Cleveland Browns. Let's not forget they cashed that man out $300 million guaranteed. So we're gonna see what he do with it next year. Carson Wentz started for the Commanders. He went 16 for 28, 143 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Carson Wentz, you already know what it is. I ain't got to say much about that. Jaguars, Texans. Jaguars beat the Texans 21-3. Not going to say much about them. 49ers beat the Raiders 37-34. We're going to look at this box score real quick. Brock Purdy went 22 for 35, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey had 19 carries for 121 yards and a TD. Ayuk had 1 carry for 16 yards. He also had 9 receptions for 101 yards and a TD. Christian McCaffrey also had 6 receptions for 72 yards. Defense came up big with 2 sacks, with 2 interceptions, actually. Jarrett Stidham, right? As we know, Derek Carr got benched. Man, let me see. Let me get something for the damn, I wish I had a womp, womp, womp. Shout out to the Bulldog, man. The Fresno State Bulldog. Derek Carr, man. I know I was rooting for my guy. Had a lot of faith in my guy this year, man, with him and Devontae Adams, and I wanted to see that work out. All right, I'm an alumni of Fresno State. That's my alma mater. So, I was excited to see him and Devontae Adams come together, man. I was hoping for the best. Hasn't worked out so far. They end up benching my guy, man, and they're probably gonna ship him out next year, which is probably best for the organization, man. But one time for Derek Carr, man. Matter of fact, y'all hold on real quick, cause I'm about to go get the bottle real quick. Like I said, man, one time for Derek Carr. One time for the Fresno State Bulldogs. One time for the niggas out here with degrees. One time for the Oakland Raiders. This how we coming. And do your research on Jack Daniels. You know what I'm saying? That was a black man was the master brewer. I don't know if they call it. I know brewing. I know that's beer. I don't know what they call it for whiskey distiller. I was a black man holding it down. DC, my guy. I'm rooting for you, bro. Nothing but success in that 2023, 2024 season, man. Wish you nothing but the best. From one Bulldog to another. New York Giants for life. Oh, shit. But y'all see what time it is, man. One time for my Bulldogs. One time for the Raiders, man. Woo! Shout out to Derek Carr. And one time for all my Raider fans out there, because I know y'all been going through it just like I have as a New York Giants fan, man. But I will say this about the Raiders. I seen this post on Facebook the other day, so I'm gonna go ahead and read some of that real quick. It says, since Derek Carr came into the league, he's had the 32nd ranked defense. That's dead last. This year, the defense is ranked 31st in takeaways, second to last. 30th in sacks, third to last. 30th in penalties, third to last. 27th pass defense, 27th red zone defense, that's fifth last. 23rd in points allowed. What's that? 9th. That's, you feel me? Bottom 10. Bottom 10 again on third downs, right? Since Derek Carr was drafted in 2014, he had 157 takeaways, fewest in NFL, and he's averaged 26, or the defense has allowed 26.1 points per game, which is the most in the NFL. So I'm just going to throw that out there, man. Shout out to Derek Carr. It is what it is, right? It's a business at the end of the day. And what have you done for me lately? Can't cut him too much slack, but it is what it is. Hold on. I'm on by myself. Yeah. Can you pause it? Nah. That's terrible. Like in one second. Let me see. Have some conversations. NFL Weekly Recap. This is your boy John. Yes, sir. Give me 1 second, y'all. We going up. I gotta see what the next banger is. We just heard that BG Perico or G Perico spray bottle. Let me see, man. I'm gonna play this one time for my dog Emilio. We was causing all the problems, sticks in it. R.I.P. my dog Emilio Ward, Elmo's World. R.I.P. to all our loved ones that we lost last year. Gone but never forgotten. Legends never die. Don't you ever forget that. Legends never die. 18 weeks strong. We've been doing this. Shout out to Handsome Conversations. Shout out to everybody out there trying to get to it. Shout out to everybody out there going through the struggle, but they got their head down and they just keeping their feet moving. Yes, sir. R.I.P. Draco the Ruler. I'm gonna play another one for y'all real quick. What y'all want to hear, man? Give me 1 second. What else is going on here? Have some conversation. This your boy John. Yay. Drop a comment if you watching. Don't be peeking. Drop a comment. Have some conversations. NFL Weekly Recap. It's your boy John. My niece keep calling me. What it do? Look, you on my live stream. What's up, sis? I can hear you on my live stream. What's up? What you need? I'm about to send that to you right now. Talk to him, sis. Tell him, sis. Tap in. You got it. Oh man, I'm about to send that to you right now, sis. I'm gonna put a little chili on it. Since you called into the show, did a little shout out. I'm gonna put a little chili on it. One time for my sister, one time for my niece. You feel me? I'm gonna send a little something through that Cash App, Uncle John. Let him know, sis. Wait, I'm gonna send that to you right now, sis. Don't send me the Cash App. Send me your Cash App, and I'm gonna send it right now. All right. Love you. Bye. Shout out to my sister. At the end of the day, family is all you got. Don't ever get it twisted. Not all family is family though. It's some motherfuckers that'll treat you like a stranger. Like I said, have some conversations. NFL Weekly Recap, Week 17. RIP Nip the Crit. Let's see what else we got going on here. Appreciate whoever. Shout out to the sexy. One more time for the sexy. She in the building. Let me go ahead and see what's popping with the Chargers. I got you. Don't you worry, love. Don't you worry. All right. Los Angeles Chargers beat the Los Angeles Rams 31-10. Shout out to the Chargers. Justin Herbert went 21 for 28, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Austin Eckler had 10 carries for 122 yards and 2 TDs. He's a dog. Mike Williams had 7 receptions for 94 yards. Keenan Allen had 5 receptions for 60 yards. Austin Eckler also had 4 receptions for 39 yards. Let's see. Defense had 3 sacks, no interceptions. A little bit about the Chargers, man. Chargers got that NFL. They got that NFL playoff spot. Got a young quarterback who's been doing well. He's been holding down the game. Can't knock the Chargers at all. You know, I know earlier this year we've been talking about how they should have never came to LA. They should have stayed in San Diego. But the thing is, in San Diego and LA are pretty much the same. I'll say there's one difference with LA. One difference with LA is that LA is just a super major city. And I'm going to say San Diego is a major city. Anytime you're in a major city, there's lots of things to do, right? Do you want to go to a Chargers game? Do you want to go to a Rams game? Do you want to go to the Lakers game? Do you want to go to Hollywood? Do you want to kick it in South Central with the gangsters? You have lots of options. So the sports teams matter, but do they really matter, right? So when the Chargers was in San Diego, it's San Diego, right? Charger game is cool, but we could also go to the beach. We could also go to the bar. We could also go wine and dine, right? So when it comes to these major cities, man, you got a lot of options. LA is the entertainment capital of the world. Are the Chargers at the top of the entertainment, right? You got the LA Kings, you got the LA Dodgers, you got the LA Sparks, right? You got the LA Football Club, you got the LA Galaxy, right? You got options. So we'll see how it pans out for them in LA. Hopefully, Chargers, right? They got that playoff berth, so hopefully the fans show up and show out for them during the playoffs because they need it. Baker Mayfield went 11 for 19, 132 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Cam Akers, 19 carries for 123 yards. That boy did his thing. Van Jefferson had 3 receptions for 77 yards. That boy did his thing. So shout out to the Chargers. Shout out to Jasmine for tapping in for the handsome conversations. Appreciate you. That's love right there. For real, for real. Jasmine says she missed them being the San Diego Chargers, but I guess it's our turn to take over LA. I mean, look, I got a young, great quarterback who could throw the ball. He's talented. I got a couple good receivers, a decent defense, right? And even if we go back to Rivers as the quarterback, right? The Chargers have always been right there, right? And back in the day, we used to blame it on coaching, right? But they've always had a quarterback. They've been had a quarterback, and they have a quarterback now. What's going to get them over the hump, right? We're going to see. Oh, yeah. Y'all whooped on the Rams, as y'all should. Man. You feel me? It's Chargers running LA right now. No cap. Feel me? They just got to get fans in the building. They get fans in the building, they're going to be a problem. We'll see what happened with the Steelers-Ravens game. Steelers beat the Ravens 16-13. This was a good game. Kenny Pickett went 15 for 27, 168 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Najee Harris went 22 carries for 111 yards. Jalen Warren had 12 carries for 76. Hold on real quick. Oh, no, yeah. Y'all good. Y'all going to get there. Y'all good. The Chargers is in a good spot. And the thing about LA is it's such a big market, man. It's enough money for everybody. And at the end of the day, everybody can eat, right? Because it's LA. A lot of people come from all over the world to visit LA. So Chargers gonna be good, man. Um, will they be the big brother to the LA Rams? I hope so. You feel me? And shout out to the LA babies. All right, shout out to the LA babies. Shout out to the California babies, right? Because now you got more teams to choose from, right? Do you want to go Rams? Do you want to go Chargers? Do you want to go Niners? Right? The Raiders still West Coast. You know, it's Oakland, it's LA. They in Vegas right now, but they'll be back. So yeah, Najee Harris, what I say, 22 carries for 111 yards. Fryer moved 3 receptions for 36. Johnson 2 receptions for 35. This was a shitty game. Tyler Huntley back up for Baltimore Ravens, and Lamar Jackson went 14 for 21, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. J.K. Dobbins had 17 carries for 93 yards. That's pretty decent. Mark Andrews had 9 receptions for 100 yards. That's the safety, right? He holds it down in that offense. You take him away from that offense, we're going to see what's going to happen. The Ravens are in the playoffs. We're gonna see what Lamar Jackson does. We know he needs that 300. He wants the $300 million contract. Will he get the $300 million contract? Will he come back for the playoffs? I think he will. Will they advance in the playoffs? That's the question. He hasn't been able to do that in the last few years. Right? He won MVP. Can he do it this year? We'll see. Defense had 2 sacks, 0 interceptions. Who else? We go to the Bills and the Bengals. Oh no, yeah, for sure. Y'all better. I mean, look, y'all in the building. Y'all in SoFi Stadium, brand new stadium. Y'all in LA, right? I mean, is LA an upgrade from San Diego? Probably the same thing. Well, I would say so. You feel me? Market wise, definitely an upgrade because there's more money in LA, and that's probably why they went to LA. But shit, bring another team to San Diego. Why not? NFL. Bring another team to San Diego. Bring another team. Mm, Shit, I don't know where they put that other team, but I'm sure there's a market for it. And bring in 2 black owners while you at it. Here I go talking about race all the time. Anyways, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills. That game was postponed. Josh Allen went 3 for 6, 33 yards. James Cook 2 carries, 18 yards. And Josh Allen had an additional 2 carries for 14. Stephon Diggs had 2 receptions for 26 yards. Man, that game got postponed after safety Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field, right, due to cardiac arrest. So prayers to him and his family. We definitely want, right, at the end of the day, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars, this and that. But at the end of the day, man, football ain't nothing but a what? It ain't nothing but a game at the end of the day, right? And these are men who have families that love them, that care about them. So we definitely want to send our prayers to him and his family, and we want everyone to be all right. So yeah, man, that game has gotten postponed. We'll see if they play next week or whatever the deal is. But that's that. Let me see. And then I'm gonna go back to these playoff standings real quick. I'm gonna talk about these playoff standings. All right. So what it's looking like right now, if the season ended tomorrow, you have the Bills versus New England. Obviously, we think the Bills will win that one. Cincinnati versus Baltimore. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. Jacksonville versus the Chargers. I'm gonna go Chargers on that one. And that's the first round of the playoffs. So I'm going Chargers, Cincinnati, Buffalo. All right, that's in the AFC. NFC, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. We got not if the playoffs started tomorrow. 49ers versus Seahawks. I'm going 49ers. Minnesota versus New York Giants. I'm going New York Giants. Tampa Bay versus Dallas. Woo! I'm going Dallas. Uh, Tom Brady, you the GOAT. You can pull this one off if you try hard. If your dogs come to back you up, I know you can make that work. Um, but will your dogs show up? But yeah, people, there you have it. Have some conversations, NFL Weekly Recap. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank y'all so much. Shout out to the gang. The homies couldn't show up today, but they here in spirit. Um, 18 long weeks to the NFL, man. So we've been doing this for 17 weeks now. Crazy, right? But we here. Appreciate all y'all love. Appreciate all y'all support, man. Because we do it for y'all. We trying to grow an audience for myself and the other analysts that are on this live stream. We're trying to grow an audience. We're trying to perfect our craft and turn this into something eventually. So we just appreciate y'all support. We appreciate y'all tuning in. And I'm gonna give a message because y'all know every week we end this with a message. And so what I'm gonna say is put your family first. I'm gonna say put your family first. Put your immediate family first. And the family that's not family first. Uh at the end of the day, all you got is family, whether that's blood family or family that's not family. And y'all know what that's about. But life is hard. Life is difficult. Life is a struggle. And it's always gonna be that way. Life's gonna have its ups. Life is gonna have its downs. And that's just the way that life goes. So um it's inevitable. So with that being said, man, you want people in your life that's gonna make life easier. You know what I'm saying? Life is a bitch, as they say. Life will beat you up. You want people in your life that's gonna make your life easier, not harder. Stick with those people. Stick with those people that want to help you. Stick with those people that want to see you win. Stick with those people that want to give you genuine love, genuine respect, and genuinely want to see you win. That's who you fuck with. That's who you keep close. Because like I said, it's hard out here as it is, man. So find those people that love you and let them back, man. Build those relationships, right? And the people that's not messing with you, man. People that's trying to make your life harder, fuck them. At the end of the day, because we only got one life, man. So find those people, bring those people to your table, and enjoy them. And everybody else, man, they can't have a seat at your table. Um, if you come from the environments, if you come from the gutter, if you come from poverty, if you come from the ghetto, you know how hard it is to find real love, genuine love and genuine support. It's hard to find in people that don't want something from you, that don't have a alternative motive, right? So when you find in people who don't, man, stick to them. Stick to them. Call on them. Don't use them, but use them. You get what I'm saying? Uh, and for the people that's acting shady, just distance yourself from them. right? You ain't gotta hurt them. You ain't gotta harm them. They're gonna do that to themselves. Karma's gonna get them. The universe is gonna get them. So you stick to your mission, and you keep your head down and you keep your feet moving, and you continue to go forward. Because a lot of people that's not with you. It's a lot of people that don't want to see you doing better than them. Um, it's a lot of people that don't want you to have more than them. Um, so just find those people and stick to them. So that's my message for today. For today, if you the youth out there and you got people that's trying to steer you in the right direction, you got people that's out there supporting you, or they giving you that good game. Stick with those people. Don't stick with the people that's throwing negativity, that's lying, that's gaslighting. Uh, they want to be something that they not. All right, don't mess with those people. Your life is too precious. You're worth a lot more. You're valuable. You have something to live for, and yeah. So that's my message for today, man. So I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all supporting us. Like, subscribe, share. We live stream on Facebook. We live stream on YouTube. You can find us at Handsome Conversations with John Hunt Jr. On Facebook or YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. Uh, you you can follow me on Instagram at Hunt Junior John. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. You can follow me on Instagram at Hunt Dog. That's HUNTDDOG. Um, yep, that's it, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Nothing but love. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. And I hope to see y'all next week. Peace, love, blessings. Go.